Interior, grimy, dimly lit back room, night. A single bare bulb hangs overhead, casting harsh light on a small, battered table. Empty bottles and cigarette butts are scattered across it. Anton, 50s, impeccably dressed, but with eyes like flint, also a loan shark. He sits calmly, polishing an ornate lighter. Across from him, Jake, 30s, disheveled, sweating and a degenerate gambler, shifts nervously, his hands trembling.
Anton, please, okay? Just a few more days. The game tonight? Hey, come on. I can feel it. I know I can turn it around.
Oh, Jacob, a few more days. You feel it. We've had this dance before, and it stopped being a waltz and started being a funeral procession about 3 months ago. The interest alone could buy me a small island.
I'll get it, okay? I swear. My aunt, she's got some money. I can go get it from her. Just, give me till tomorrow. Anton, just tomorrow morning.
Your aunt, Jacob. The one who barely talks to you because you bled her dry on your last sure thing? No. Your aunt is off limits. Everything is off limits except your debt. You knew the rules, Jacob. You understood the terms. 3 extensions. 3 chances. This isn't a charity, Jacob. This is business. And my business is running out of patience.
What are you going to do, man? I don't have it, okay? I told you.
What am I going to do? Oh, Jacob. I'm going to remind you of the cost of losing. And it won't be pretty. It won't be pretty. Not for you. Or for anyone you care about. Now, I've lost my patience. The money. Where is it? And scene. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast presents The Retorted Show. I'm Matt Lavelle. He's Bern Podcasty. I'm fucking juiced up. I'm ready to go. Can't wait to start this. But first thing we're starting off with, Bern, how about a little Who Dat Dude?
Who Dat Dude? Who
Dat Dude? For anyone
right,
listening at home that doesn't know the rules, Who Dat Dude? We are each going to present one story. We're going to present that story from the first person. We will then give you a list of 5 names of people that we kind of know. You will then have to guess who you think that story belongs to. Couple of rules. You're allowed to ask a maximum of 5 questions. Maximum of 5. The questions have to pertain to the story and not to the person. Okay? If you only ask 3 questions, then you have the option to remove 2 of the names. Bern, take it away.
This week on Who Dat Dude, I once won a dance contest with my glow stick skills. I once won a dance contest with my glow stick skills. Your choices: myself, Murph, Richie, Jones, and Mead.
Okay. First thing I'm thinking here, can I ask? First question, did this take place in high school?
After high school.
Okay. Shortly after, or were you, okay, did this take place in college?
I'm going to give you a yes. It may have been a year or 2 after, but it was definitely early 20s, like 22, 23, like right in that. I don't remember if I was still technically in college.
But you were
it might have been
a
year after, but it was, super early 20s.
Okay, reason I ask, because in that era, you graduated high school in 2000. So you would say, let's say your college years would have been 2001 to 2005-ish, generally, right?
Sure, sure.
That era was E heavy, daddy. E was all the rage. Triple stack, a double stack, Pac-Man, smiley face gimmick, all love, very
Hit you with
good.
that Maseratis.
Drinking a ton of water, feeling a ton of fabrics, having a good
Mm-hmm.
old time, and glow sticks was the gimmick, daddy. The gimmick. The
You have the
gimmick.
time period nailed, Maddie. It's right. It's in that time period for
I know.
sure.
Hey, I got that time period down cold, daddy. Down cold. So I'm gonna eliminate me just because I don't think he fits the age criteria. He's a little too young to hit the glow sticks and E phase, right? He just
Okay.
missed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But are you gonna give me back to back Murph dances? Are you gonna try and throw me? Because last week we had Murph dancing and almost getting you kicked out of senior prom. So we're gonna have back-to-back Murph Mania dances. Did Richie throw down? I still hold the distinction. Richie loved drugs. Loved drugs. Oh, I loved him with him. Me and him loved some together. And we had a great time loving him. Loved drugs with Richie. Loved drugs. But I think Richie might have been too cool for school, but he still could have been the fucking E guy with the gimmicks. You know, that's the other thing. And then Jonesy, he's just along for the damn ride, isn't he? He's along for the ride. Man. Okay, did this contest take place at a bar?
Yes.
Okay. So what I've asked, those are three
And
questions.
I believe it was McFadden's.
McFadden's at the ballpark or McFadden's in Spring
No,
Garden?
Spring Garden.
Shit, that was question number 4. Fuck. And
No, no,
fifth
no. I'll give you.
question.
I'll give you that.
Okay. All right then. Okay. All right. Well, I'll ask a fourth question anyways. Was drugs involved?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, but like not. But not. It wasn't the main. Yeah. The answer is yes, but I don't know that was the main motivator of the scenario.
Okay.
Drugs was
And
kind of involved for us then. You know.
was there all yeah, was there I mean like you weren't it wasn't a habit yet. You're still just having drugs were still fun. They
Correct.
weren't demanding.
Correct.
Yeah. Been there,
Correct.
dude.
Yeah.
That was the best time ever. When
The
drugs
honeymoon
weren't
phase.
demanding, when they were
Yeah, the
just
honeymoon
fun.
phase. They were just fun.
Oh, when your relationship with drugs just started. It was great. Great time.
Oh, so good. So
Yeah.
good.
Okay. All right. So that was I got,
So we
okay.
know that it is post high school in the early
Yeah.
20s. It took
Yeah.
place at McFadden. I'm 99% sure it's McFadden's, but it took place at a bar
Yeah.
for sure. And
Yeah.
fun recreational drug use was involved.
Sure. Sure. Okay. So do I only have 3 questions then?
No, because you asked high school and then you asked another
That's
early
what I thought.
20s.
I had
So you
4.
got one left. You got one left.
All right. Oh man. Okay. Did you get any pussy because of this dance contest?
I don't think I got no pussy, and I don't think anybody that I was with
I'll
got
tell
any
you,
pussy.
that is
Comment.
the one drawback of ecstasy is
Hmm.
that, yeah, you can dance. Yeah, you're going to drink a ton of water and feeling things feels good, but your dick is basically silly putty.
Not only
So,
no for me, I can say no for me for sure. I did not get any, and I don't think anybody that I was with was able to pull either.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have to go. Man. Camptown ladies sing this song, doo da, doo
Do
da.
da.
Camptown racetrack's 5 miles long. I'm going with
Oh, do da
Murph.
day.
Back to back Murphs. I think you're trying to throw me, but I don't know if you threw me or you blew me. Get me Murph again. Yahoo!
All right. Final answer.
Final answer, Daddy-O.
Final answer. The answer to this question is the late great Richard Sicoli. Maddie
Yeah.
Richie was an furiously annoying liquid dancer. Richie was constantly dancing. We would be standing in line at McDonald's to like get our lunch at the golf center, and Richie would be moonwalking around. Richie danced everywhere he went, he got super into the glow sticks. He had those motherfuckers on strings, which is how he ended up winning the impromptu dance contest. I mean, it wasn't impromptu,
Wow.
but it wasn't like an advertised thing. It just happened at the bar. And like the DJ guy was like, "Come on out," and then like people were challenging each other. But once he let him fly on the strings, uh, yeah, I believe he was also wearing a Playboy visor at the time.
Oh, of course.
Richie
That was the hot rage.
was he never stopped dancing to the point where you'd be like, dude, can we just get our fucking cheeseburgers and get out of here? Can you stop liquid dancing in the McDonald's line? It just never ended.
I could see he was a high energy guy at times.
And
I will
like
say.
you'd walk into his room, like you just go to his house and walk into his room, and all of a sudden there'd be a glow stick on a string swinging at you, and you're like, Jesus Christ, like warn me when you're doing this type of deal. But no, Richie could
Yeah.
move. Richie had serious moves. The answer there is Richie,
No, R.I.P. I miss him. Love him. Great guy. Nothing but love.
the best.
All right. Well, that does it for the first Who Dat Dude. You ready for my Who Dat Dude?
All right, Maddie, who that dude?
For my Who Dat Dude, I once broke my family's Sega Genesis. I once broke my family's Sega Genesis. I once broke my family's Sega Genesis. The possible people are, as always, your boy, old Uncle Matty. Then we're throwing in, of course, Bigas, Alan Bach. Then we're throwing in Captain Jerkbeard himself, Tom Lavelle. Then the Rocket, also our business advisor, Ron Skotleski. And Jalen Dub. Jalen Dub. Jalen Dub. So go ahead, you big old cockhaver.
Sega. I was once broke my family's Sega Genesis.
That's right.
There's a lot of ways to go on this one. A lot of ways to
Lots
go
to
here.
unravel. Lots to
Uh,
unravel.
was it a crime of passion?
Yeah. Well, is anger a passion?
Yeah, like you just lost, you just got beat, and then
Yeah.
it
It was
came
in
out.
anger.
It was in anger, right? It was broken in
Mhm.
anger. Ooh, family segment. There's some fallout from that for
There's some
sure.
repercussions involved for sure. Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you're not getting off scot free on that one.
How about this? If you guess the game, I'll give you an extra question if you guess the game. How do you like that for a stippy? You like a little stippy? Little stippy?
Little stippy, sure, little stippy.
And anyone in the
Um,
comments, comment what you think the game was.
so before I make my guess, can I ask one more question?
Yeah, go ahead. Smack it up.
We're dealing with a two-player game here, correct?
No.
I mean, it's a one-player game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great question.
Is the game Battletoads?
It is not.
So I lose my. Battletoads was great, but man, there's some ball breaking going on there. All right. Who was more angry, your siblings or your parents?
You know, from what I remember, it was one of those situations where it was like, hey, we're all fucked here. So, no matter how this goes down, something might have happened and someone's going to get the brunt, but this isn't a we're all fucked situation, you know?
Right.
So, when you break something that's like the family's property, it's like
Correct.
if there was more than one person that could have been like witnessed. If you're an accessory,
Yeah.
like accessories are getting it too. So I think it was
Yeah.
yeah, there was anger, anger, resentment, but also like massive fear of the parents. The parents were gonna
Sure.
be.
So let's
But
say
then
parents.
yeah,
All right. And for my last question,
mm-hmm. Talk to me, Daddy.
so it's broken in anger. It was a one-player game, solo player game,
Yeah,
which is the real anger too. It's one thing when you can look across from somebody and like be mad because they beat you in Madden or something, but when it's
yeah,
just the computer, just
Oh
laughing at
yeah.
you, just taunting you. I understand. I know that
Oh.
rage. That's
Oh
that's
yeah.
like deep down. Like
That's fucking.
you black out, and then you're like, "What did I just do? Like
Yeah.
what happened here?" Um, we know the parents were angry, obviously, because
He just
Genesis
broke
don't
a
grow on
Sega.
trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So I don't know. My last question, I guess, would be uh, was it a sports game?
No.
All right.
Good question. Good question. Good answer.
Good question. Good answer. I'm gonna go off the resi here a little bit. I'm gonna go J Dub, Mr. Justin Richardson.
Jalen Dub, Justine Richardson.
Mm-hmm. That's my final
Well,
guess.
well, Burn, let me tell you.
Unless you just back to back me like a fucking snake in the grass.
Well, Burn, your boy's a snake in the grass because it was none
Yeah,
other than your boy, old Uncle Matty. Here's what
I thought
happened.
you might do that. I was really thought you might do that.
Yeah. Well, here's the story. It was early in the afternoon. Just kidding. So it was a Saturday morning, right? We had bought a Sega Genesis from my cousin Vinny. My mom bought it from him for like, $70 or something, but back in 92, that's a good
Oh,
chunk.
dude.
And
Yes.
it came with Sonic the Hedgehog. That was the game, Sonic the Hedgehog, right? And so I'm but it sucked because I wasn't very good at it. But when you got a game over, you had to give up your turn. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? Like that's the
That's right.
rules. You get a game over, your
Mm-hmm.
turn's over. That's it. But I was like, I just need more time on it. I keep, losing and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I'm going to wake up early on Saturday and I'm going to play the game before anyone's awake. I'm going to get extra time. And I planned it all out. I knew I was going to wake up early. I had it all set. So I wake up early, but I share a room with my fucking brothers. So guess what
Mm-hmm.
happened? I woke up,
Everybody's up.
I go downstairs, I turn it on, and then 2 seconds later, fucking Captain Dickbeard Tom comes down, and I'm playing the game, and I'm trying to do it, and he's fucking running his mouth the whole time. Just won't shut the fuck up. And I'm trying to play, you know? And I'm like, shut the fuck up! And he's saying shit, and I'm messing up, and I'm getting fucking mad. And then I'm like, and then I die, and he's like, it's my turn. I was like, fine. And I threw the controller at him. And remember, this is before wireless. So
Yeah,
the
it's plugged in.
controller had a wire connected to the console. So when I threw it at him, the console fell like off it was on like a bureau, fell off the bureau on the ground, never worked again. And then we were just both like, oh, fuck. Like, that's trouble, Daddy. Troubles are coming. More coming for me, but we're both conspirators. So there you
Uh-huh.
go.
And also, it's a lesson for you to control your anger. It's also a lesson for Tommy to be like, I know as an older brother, you feel like you got to needle me. You got to needle me the whole time. But guess what? You just needled me into a goddamn broken Genesis, and now we're both screwed
Yeah.
here.
You
Like,
needed us both into an early grave, buckaroo. Like, I mean, come on. Like, what are we doing here, Fern? What are we doing? So, either way, that does it for Who Dat
Maddie,
Dude?
you're on a roll, man. You're on a run.
I mean, not
You missed
really.
Richie, but you've been
Yeah.
stumping me every goddamn week.
Well, it's all proof is in the pudding. But, Burn, how about some fun facts, Daddy?
Ooh, more fun facts. 3 weeks in a row with
More fun facts for Benoit Payud. Here we go. First fun fact. Are you ready?
Born Ready, baby.
Here we go. In 1902, U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt went on a hunting trip. You know those hunting trips, you shooting guns, all that fun stuff. So he's
Mm-hmm.
on this hunting trip where he refused to shoot a bear that he had captured, right? Deeming like the bear had been captured, he refused to shoot it, deeming it cruel and unsporting, right? That's Teddy for you.
It's already
The
captured,
story,
right?
yeah, the story spread rapidly and then was turned into like a political cartoon. It was in all the newspapers, right? This then inspired a toy. Toy makers created a bear. And guess what the bear was called? Teddy's Bear, which is now Probably the most beloved toy, a teddy
Wait,
bear.
seriously?
Seriously.
The reason I guess I've never stopped to think about why it's called a teddy
Yeah.
bear. It's
Yeah.
named after Roosevelt,
Yeah. How
the
how
Rough
cool is
Rider,
that? Yeah.
the
The
softest,
old
cutest little toy you give to every baby in a crib, is named after one of the most badass Americans ever to strut around
yeah.
this continent.
Literally, Theodore Roosevelt's one of the greatest Americans of all time. And yeah, one of his lasting legacies that no one knows about. My daughter has 30 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She's built a couple of them, but yeah, teddy bears. A stuffed bear animal was a teddy bear. And dude, it was like a Tickle Me Elmo of its that generation.
just took over, just became like swept the nation.
Yep. So here we go. You ready for the next fun fact?
Man, that was a great fun fact.
Great one. How about this one? So, in the 1850s, maybe a German scientist named it was in the 1800s, a German scientist named Röntgen, right? He was experimenting with electrical tubes. You love them, you heard of them.
Sure. Yeah.
When he noticed a strange glow on his hands, which revealed his bones, right? He realized that the electrical rays could pass through solid objects, right? But not the bones, leading to the development of X ray imaging, which obviously, as you know, has transformed medicine forever. There you go.
Just playing with some tubes. I was just playing with some
Playing
tubes.
little electrical tubes, got it going. Ready for the next fun fact? Because this one's going to knock your dick right off.
Well, let me hold on to it with both hands.
Hold on to it, but you probably need a third hand for that big old piece of meat.
Yeah, I actually got to pinch the helmet a little bit and not just get two on it. But let's go. All right, what do we got?
Here we go. 1941. Here we go. Fun fact. In 1941, a Swiss engineer named George Mistral was walking through the woods with his dog when he noticed that these strange, like, seeds was clinging to his clothes and his dog's fur. Upon examining the thing under a microscope, he discovered, like, tiny hooks on the seeds, right? That allowed it to attach so effectively this inspired him to create a type of fastening system. That
Wait a
fastening
minute.
system, we know it today as Velcro.
Is that how
So
Velcro?
yeah,
What?
this dude, this Swiss guy was walking in the woods with his dog, right? And he saw these, like flower pods
Right.
sticking to his dog and his clothes, and he's like, "What the hell? Like these things are gripping so good, right?" Then he took that home, examined it under a microscope, saw how like the barbs had hooks on them. He then took that type of design or type of engineering and used that thinking to create Velcro.
That makes so much sense too, because in order for plants to germinate, right, you just want your seeds to get out as far as possible. So they've got to be able to
Oh,
latch onto something easily, but they've
oh
also
yeah,
got to be able to fall off something
oh
easily
yeah,
too once it gets to a new
oh
spot.
yeah. I
Velcro.
mean, I've been
Huh.
wanting my seed to latch on. You know,
Nope. No moss, baby. No moss. No more
no
seed
more
latching
latching
for
this
me.
seed, Daddy. This
No, no,
seed's done
no.
latching. But Burn, that does it for fun fact. You ready to move on to a little commence of commenting?
Let's see. What do we have this? We got a lot of Little Miss Metal last week. Shout out to
Yeah.
Omni last week. What do we got? What do people want to
So
say?
this comment comes from, the name says elevator here, and it's at date to relate. Elevator here at date to relate. They left a comment
Okay.
on episode we just released at the when this airs we released episode, maybe 465. So this might be
Yeah.
episode 466. But this comment comes from episode 285, the Lived Revamped interview, which was a great
Ooh,
interview. Lived
great
Revamped,
interview.
great guest, great research done on Lived Revamped. But
Throwback.
he says this. He says, "Has this guy ever talked to someone in real life, face to face, away from his gaming console? He seems like the sort who would treat people asking him for road directions as microaggressions."
Uh,
Yeah. And I responded by saying, "Wow, glad to see you don't rush to judgment. Fucking
he's talking about
douchebag."
you.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember.
I
I'm trying to think who was
yeah.
on here. It was me, J Dub, Live Revamped, and man, I wonder who that girl? Yang yang yang
Dum
yang
ba
yang
dum
yang
ba
yang
dum
yang
bum
yang
ba
yang
dum
yang.
ba dum.
Who that girl? Hum bamba hum. Who that girl? Man, this was a while ago. This
Yeah.
aired. Oh, it was so. It was me. It was Jamie. It was Live Revamped. It was Justin. So yeah. So it's either me or Justin they're talking about. You know.
I mean, I think
You
both you and Justin,
know.
present as two guys who like do pretty well, like around a
I
pool table in a
mean,
bar. You know what I
we
mean? Like neither one of you guys
that
are
we
antisocial in any way, shape, or form.
this episode aired October 3rd of 2023.
Wow. All right.
That's how
Well, I
long we've been
mean,
doing this fucking show, Burn.
yeah, but that was almost 300 episodes into it, Maddie.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't even talk to me about the 300th episode. I still fucking hate it. So here we go. So then last week, here's the okay. So then the next comment comes off the Jenna Star episode, which was episode 275, which I mean, if the Live Revamped one aired,
Was that
on
probably December
October
or
3rd,
January?
this one was August 29th, you
Oh,
know?
it was before. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, it was
I was going
just
away.
before, you know? Great episode though. Great ep.
Great
Really good ep.
research.
Oh, dude, I've researched her since then a few times too. She
Yeah.
pops up every once in a while. She does have one of our most viewed videos on the channel. So, this comment came from Iggy McGeek. 4 subscribers, no videos. Iggy McGeek. They said, so it was the Jenna Star interview. They said, absolutely disgusting. I responded by saying, I'm flattered but not interested. And they responded by saying, shut up, dumbass. And then they responded by saying, aw, you're also not intelligent, attractive, in shape, or honest.
Man, I
And
think you're intelligent, attractive, in
how
shape,
about I
and
reply
honest.
to this
So,
and you are only saying this because you are protected by your how do you anonymity? How am I spelling that?
anonymity.
You know what I mean? Like,
Anonymity.
what is
A N
anonymous?
O N.
Hold on, let me see if I can spell it. Right?
Okay.
Anonymity. Anonymity?
You're gonna want to start with a better pronunciation if you're gonna spell it.
Fuck, man. How do I? All right. Hold on.
Anon.
Anonymity. Anonymity.
Sounds good to me.
That's all right. Let me googs it, and it's good. All right, and I responded saying this, and you're only saying this because you're protected by your anonymity. So there we go.
Anonymity.
This
As long as you
fucking
don't have to say it,
coward.
you're typing
I
the hell out
mean,
of it.
what a poos. Just,
Well, that's
literally,
disgusting. If you don't want to listen to an interview with an adult film star, then don't do it. But don't be like, that's disgusting.
that's
Like
disgusting. I'm gonna
when
tell my priest.
I listened to the entire thing, and then the
Yeah.
whole hour and 40 minutes of it, and it was disgusting. Like, turn
And
it
I
off.
spanked my pecker only 6 times.
What was the name?
Gross.
I didn't hate their name. Iggy McGeek. Is he
Yeah.
McGeek? Iggy McGeek. I didn't hate the name, but
Old Iggles McGiggles.
it was
So
McGiggles.
Iggy McGeek 730. I will tag them in the description of this episode. If any of the retorts out there want to, tell him how much of a pussy he is because he's only saying this because he's anonymous, please do. Or don't. I don't need you to fight my battles for me, but I love you guys. So, Burn, that does it for commence of commenting.
I
We
mean,
are now.
listen, everyone's free to have their opinion. I didn't like when he said you weren't
Ooh.
handsome
I mean,
because that's a
like,
lie.
don't.
That's a
You can
lie.
have an opinion, just don't be a
Just
liar.
don't be a
So,
liar. Just tell the truth.
yeah. So next thing, Burn, we're moving on, and we're moving on up. and we're telling these yuppies to back off. You know what we're telling them to back
Oh,
off?
I cannot fucking wait to hear, Maddie. What are they backing
We're
off today?
telling them to back off toy collecting. Okay? I have recently bought my daughter 3 lightsabers. Ahsoka Tano's, Master, the
Both of
Wookiee
them?
from no, just the one. They don't have the short one. All they have is the long one.
That's fucked
So
up.
yeah, but so I got her one of Ahsoka Tano's. Then I got, I think it's Klingon or whatever. It's the Wookiee from The Apprentice. You know
The
that
Acolyte?
lightsaber from the Acolyte. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
The Wookiee Jedi from the Acolyte. And then I got her the dark saber, of course. It's the
Oh,
fucking best.
that's so
Also,
good.
the dark saber is now my favorite one because it broke and I dad rigged it and like put like 4 screws into it. I was like, this ain't breaking again.
This is gonna stay forever.
This is the sword for the kings and queens of Mandalore, so it'll stay together for a while.
Yeah. And if you can't wield it, it's gonna be heavy in your hands. Okay? You're not
Yeah,
worthy of it.
yeah. But
Keep
my
that in
daughter
mind.
wielded it. Dude, I was like, so what we'll
The
do
monster? Of course she did.
What we'll do is I'll bring like I have so when we go to jujitsu, I keep a bag in my car of like toys and stuff. And it's like, I'll bring it in so like when she's done class, she'll play with all her friends and they'll just go through the toy bag and there's like, dude, there's like fake ice cream in there and dolls. But now there's 3 lightsabers.
That's
And they sell blasters too, right? So and the blasters you can play laser tag with. So laser tag blasters as well, right? So
that's
there's
so
a pair of
cool.
laser tag blasters. There's like some balls and bullshit and some toys and whatever. And then there's 3 lightsabers. And I saw her fucking smoke this kid with a lightsaber the other day. And there's Nerf guns in there too. It's a good little toy bag, dude.
Listen, I
It's a
remember
good little toy.
your toy bag was usually like back in the day, was like, yeah, it was those little push-up lifts. It was something to
Yeah.
do. There's always some kind of push-up machine in there. Something, whether it
Oh, in
was the
my in
discs,
in my
yeah,
life that I
in
carried
your life,
around, yeah,
whether it was the discs or whether it was the
yeah,
lifts or whether it was something.
yeah.
There was always that. There were usually condoms, but even back then, there was always a
I
written
never.
Nerf gun or two. Like, I
Yeah, I
mean,
never really used the condoms to tell you the
they maybe
truth.
they were for show, but like,
Yeah,
but you've been rolling around with Nerf guns on you
you know,
for a solid 20 years.
there was a Nerf gun, but you know what else was big back then when I used to carry my life around with me? A portable DVD player.
Oh yeah,
I had my dad got me that for Christmas one year. I fucking love that thing, dude. I
makes
remember I
that
had all
train
like
ride
every
quick.
season of Scrub. Oh yeah, I had an hour and 17-minute train ride one way. I watched every
Mm-hmm.
season of Scrubs. I had like a collection of DVDs I just kept in there. I loved it, dude. Yeah, big fan. So either way, toy collecting, right? I have 3 lightsabers. Someone told me that I shouldn't have opened the master, the Wookiee Jedi lightsaber because they're not making a ton of them, and you should have saved that because it could have been a collector's item. I've been like, motherfucker, it's a toy, and it's for a kid, and they're gonna fucking play with it because that's what you do with toys. Okay? I'm not gonna
So
use it to spank up later. You want me to spank up with it? You want me to spank it up for you? Because I'm not gonna do it. Because it's a fucking toy. I'm gonna let my kid play with it and break it. Because that's what fucking kids do. That's why I bought it. All right? I bought it because I didn't get one when I was a kid, and I want her to experience the joy that I never did. And that's fucking parenting. Okay? So fuck you. Fuck you. I'm not collecting the toy. Burn.
I got 2 points on this, okay? And they're both about passion and family. The most recent point is a couple of years ago, my son, he's 8 now, he's maybe 5, gets back into the house, my mom's house. He's going through the old toy chest. He's finding my old school X-Men figures and Ninja,
Oh.
my brother Mike's Ninja Turtles,
Oh.
and all of Pulaski's Power Ranger stuff. So
Oh.
he opens this toy chest and is like, I don't
This
know
is
what
20
any of this
Christmases.
is,
Yeah.
but I'm in love, right? So
They're incredible.
over the years, he'd take a bunch of stuff. I want this guy when I come home. I want this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Yeah.
moving back this
He's
year.
taking him back to your house,
So, yeah, yeah, exactly. He's taking him. He's taking him home. We're visiting. He's
your
going
old
to the toy
house.
chest. Yeah, my old house.
Sorry. Your
I'm actually,
ex-wife's house.
I'm actually looking. I'm
Sorry.
sitting here. I'm looking at the toy chest right now. It's right. I'm touching it with my foot. But last summer he gave me a bunch of stuff, or in the I guess last fall he gave me a bunch of the stuff that he doesn't play with anymore to put back in the toy chest so that his cousin Max, who's now 2.5, can
Yeah.
find it. So
See,
he can find it in a couple of years.
that's a good fucking cousin right there. That's a pro move. Great
Quality toys.
move.
He's like, I don't use all. I'm keeping some of them, but the ones I don't
Yeah.
use, take these, put them back so Max can find them. That's how toys are meant to filter through. Now I'm going to tell you something.
Correct.
It's funny. My other point is here. You started with Star Wars, right? You're talking about lightsabers. I
Yeah.
was an aggressive Star Wars geek growing up. Like I can
Nothing wrong
walk
with that.
into a room right now. I have technical manuals. Like I have blueprints for X wings and Y wings and Tie fighters.
Sure.
Uh, I had an incredible Star Wars toy collection. Now, when I would buy the figures, right, I'd open them because I wanted to play with them. And I was probably even 11, 12, 13 at that point, but I wanted to set them
Yeah.
up and do cool stuff with them. But when I was done
Sure.
with them, they would go in a bag, a little Ziploc bag. They'd go in with the weapons, whatever they came with. I would cut the thing off the back of the box that had like the bio, like Luke Skywalker to have like a little bio. I kept all that shit. I had like the Micro Machine Star Wars. I had like the whole run. And that about 3 years ago, the septic tank in my mom's basement went. And with that went years and years
Uh,
of Star Wars toys because there's no way to fix that. You know what I mean? Once the septic tank
yeah.
goes and
No.
it's all gone. But I
No.
remember meticulously collecting those toys. But you know what I did, Maddie? I opened them, and
Yeah. And
and
you arranged them
and
and
I
you
was buying
played.
them
Yeah.
at like 13 and 14, and I wasn't even really playing with them at that point.
But you were arranging
I
them and
was setting them
yeah.
up to have a cool
Yeah.
thing on the top of my dresser that
Yeah.
looked like there was a huge battle going on. I was past the pew pew point, but it was
Yeah.
still such a cool thing and something that meant so much to
Yeah.
me. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, the Star Wars
Yeah,
toys
you
didn't
could set
last.
it up and then in your mind you could go, like, you're playing the theme song in your mind. You know what I mean? You're
Right.
like, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, do I have 7 pubes? Sure. Am I buying
Right.
toys? Sure. Is there going to
Yeah.
be a crossover here that doesn't last forever? Yeah. But right now,
Yeah.
yeah,
Eventually are these toys gonna hump? Yeah.
right.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
they are. Here's the point. I spent a lot of time collecting Star Wars toys, but I opened the shits and I played with
Yeah.
them or I set them up or
And
I made a
and
cool
you have
thing on
the
my desk and it would stay there for a month. I'd use a little putty to like keep stuff down on the top of my dresser. So I had sweet battle sequences like
and Bern, let me ask you, if you still had these toys, you would be giving them to your son to play with, correct?
1,000%.
There you go. There you
A
go.
1,000%.
There's nothing wrong with collecting them and then holding on to them and keeping them nice for your child. That's honestly an incredible thing. And like what your son's doing, passing them along to his cousin, right? Like that's what it's meant to
So
be.
proud
But if you're a collector, you're taking that joy away from kids
from
and you're
everyone.
a fucking criminal.
No one else can. Not only can you not play with them, no one else can play with them. Probably
No.
no one else can touch them, and probably they're in a box somewhere in your
Yeah.
attic with shrink
Yeah.
wrap and like
Yeah.
what's the point?
And your
That's going to
mom's
be
yelling at
your
you to get these out of here. You're
right,
40. Why do you still have
right.
toys? Right.
That's going to be
You
your
have
golden
toys and no
parachute.
kids and no girlfriend. You fucking
You're
losers.
gonna retire off that goddamn Wookiee lightsaber. No, let
No.
your daughter play with it. So what? It's worth
No.
$100 in 5 years. Who gives a shit
Right. Right.
if it's still in the
Right.
box?
I would pay $100 just to have her smile while playing with it, whacking that kid again because it was
Wh-
awesome.
When
She
you were
nailed it.
watching her whacking that kid, you were just like worth every penny.
Every single penny, daddy. Yeah. Dude, same thing with she's getting into Legos and stuff now too. Like I want her to experience all the joy of getting these toys and and having play with them. Like my basement is literally like pretty much all a toys, pretty much a Toys R Us. It's Toy City down here. So, yeah, the collecting of the toys for adults, I mean, just like
I understand the
please.
nostalgia. I understand
Right.
the nostalgia, and I understand wanting to have a
I
piece of
get
it.
where it comes from. I get it
If you,
because you didn't get these as a kid and it's something to you. I get it, but I don't.
but you gotta, man, the toys
They're
in a
not
package.
for you. They're
They're not
not
for
for
you.
you.
They're not for you, man. They're not for you.
Every toy you
Collect some
collect and let
socks or
collect
something.
dust, you take away from a kid. You take away a kid's happiness, and that's
There's
wrong.
one kid who will never play with that toy, and I think that's horse shit.
And I hope you're happy that sits in your basement wrapped up like a cunt.
Dude, my boy Dino out in California still loves Transformers and collects Transformers, and he sent my son a bunch of them. He was like, "Hey, I got a bunch. I got some new Transformers. I got to move out some old Transformers. Here, I'm gonna send these to your son." Like, I got a box one day with like
here we
4
go.
different Transformers in it from California from my buddy.
Best day for your son. Yeah,
he was like,
you're
"What
a
are
hero.
these?"
You're a hero that day.
I was like, first of all, let me show you how they work. Second of all, you have to make the noise when you do it, or else it doesn't count as them transforming. No, but that turned into a pretty sweet afternoon.
Yeah, man. An incredible experience you got with your son, too.
Share your toys. Grown-ups. Toys are for kids.
Yeah, we tell kids to share them. Grown-ups, you got to do it, too. And Burn, that does it for telling these yuppies to back the fuck off. Are you ready to move on?
Where we going, Maddie? Where we going?
Get ready, because it's about to get spicy. Interior, hospital consultation room. Night, a small, sterile room. Fluorescent lights hum. Dr. Anna Reed, 40s, empathetic but professional, sits at a table, a folder open in front of her. Across from her, Mark Jenkins, 40s, disheveled, raw with fear, clutches his hands together.
Mr. Jenkins, I know this is difficult, and I truly wish I had better news for you.
Just tell me, Doc. Please, no more beating around the bush. My wife, is she going to be okay?
We've done every test, and we've done every scan. The results are conclusive. Your wife, Sarah, has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. It's aggressive.
No, that's not right, okay? That's not right. She just had a checkup. She was fine. She was a little tired, maybe, but nothing,
I understand this is a shock. Pancreatic cancer often presents very few symptoms until it's advanced. There's not much time, Mr. Jenkins. Weeks, perhaps a few months at most.
You don't understand, Doctor. We had plans. We were going to renew our vows. We're going to travel. You have to do something. There has to be a surgery, a treatment, something.
We can offer palliative care to keep her comfortable, to manage the pain. But a cure, I'm so sorry.
No, you're wrong. You're all wrong. I know my wife. She's stronger than this. She has to be. She's my Sarah. She's my Sarah, and she can't be. And scene. Well, Burn, that does it for another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast presents The Retorted Show. I'm Matt Lavelle, he's Burn Podcasty, and in case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. Follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Working P Pod and Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. In case you want to be a guest on the show, you can email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. And please like and subscribe. We keep coming back with this incredible content. We love you all so much. Thanks for listening. Thanks. See ya!